Back to the HGC Finals, where currently we are working toward finding our first grand finalist, the first team who can challenge for the title of Heroes Global Champion. I'm Gillyweed here with Kaldor, Trixler, and Dreadnought, and though Gen.G are the favorites, Team Liquid are not making it easy.
No, they definitely don't, but I still think that right now Gen.G is very much in their zone again, and I feel for Liquid they have to maybe shake things up a little bit. You can really tell that the previous matches between the two have also adjusted the drafting that we're seeing coming from Gen.G against Liquid in particular. And
Gen.G have been winning things for so long, Trixler. I have to wonder where the mentality has been for this team, considering the fact that, you know, they win a lot of things, they're used to winning, and then a team has beaten them once in one game. Sure. They went 1-1, and then wins the first game in the series.
I think the only time that I can remember them distinctly having an issue with that was Eastern Clash last year, if I remember correctly. They came in super confident, feeling like they had the entire tournament down, and then lost a couple of matches, and it felt like they just tilted off the face of the earth in terms of actually the approach of the game they normally go for. So I think if you want to go that route, we need to have that mix-up that Kaldor was mentioning. And one thing that I'm thinking about in particular is Abathur. It's not being banned out by Gen.G, and if that could be something that Team Liquid pulls out and surprises them with, I could see a situation where Dignitas shut down Tempest last week, really being echoed here for Team Liquid.
Well, let's not forget that 2 years ago, Gen.G and Fnatic in this spot, the same thing kind of happened. But since then, Dreadnought, Gen.G has been synonymous with what we know as Heroes Esports.
Yeah, they very much have been, and I think that is a, I think the label and the branding of Gen.G in itself and having that as a sponsor is a large source of where a lot of that motivation does come through. Having that level of a big brand that they want to be able to make, be the greatest esport organization in the world, mixed with, again, the support of having Noblesse on this roster, I think is the only reason that they've been able to have that winner's mentality and then keep winning throughout it. Because I think you're right, it's once they claim that world champion, they're like, what do we have left? We've done it all. We've beaten everybody. We're just going to walk into this tournament and stomp. And then very quickly we realized that wasn't going to be the case. And that is why I think they took a step back. But something has been there to kind of keep them motivated. And really, I think accountable is the best word here.
From what I've been able to hear, a lot of it to Sake is the idea of a dynasty. Yes, we can win one BlizzCon, but can we continue to be the only Heroes Global Champion? Because what a feat that would be 2 years in a row.
I would also say the rivalry that they now have with Dignitas is another one. So far, Gen.G has won it all, as you said, but they would crown all of that dynasty now with another big victory here. And they also have that duel that everybody is looking forward to, that we might not even get depending on the performance here of the 4 teams here today. But still, it's something where you hear the banter coming from Snitch against Rich the entire time. Those guys are good friends, but it's always where there is someone that challenges me. There's someone that wants to take me down, so I have to improve. I have to get better.
Well, we are 1-1 in the series, all tied up. And up next, we're going to be going to Dragonshire, an old Gen.G favorite.
And one thing that we have to keep in mind is that, you're looking at Liquid here at the playoff stage and you go, well, I've seen it on Dragonshire. The last Vikings have to be a concern in this position.
Totally.
But wait, there is no last pick slot for Liquid. By the fact that Gen.G is the team picking Dragonshire, that they have the opportunity to get that last pick slot and be responsive to know whatever kind of, cheese or wild pick we might see here from Liquid.
Also, the one interesting to me was always when we had Gen.G in the past as MEP Black, the way that they dealt with Vikings when Liquid threw it against them in the years past at the mid-season brawl. Their adjustments are so insanely good. They know exactly when that composition is at its weakest, and they're just saying, why would we chase you? We're just going to take your structures and push it through towards the core, and what are you going to do about it?
And one thing that I also would highlight is just looking at the entirety of the Eastern scene, especially out of Korea, they are far better at that mid-game top lane pressure, which is a direct counter to the TLV approach to this battleground. So from beginning to end, I would say that it is unlikely to see that level of, pocket strategy be as successful for Liquid.
Right. There is definitely a lot of top focus, especially from Gen.G, but what is interesting to me is the focus on Hammer and Hanzo, 2 highly prioritized picks for Gen.G that they have shown so far, and that leaves a lot of things open.
And it puts it in a weird position because now that's the first pick Tyrande coming out from Team Liquid, which is something that we haven't really gotten that much definitely in opening week, and now it's just an adjustment that they've recently been making. But according to the pick bans, that puts Raynor at the very top, and as we talked about, that has been the go-to DPS from beginning to end for Gen.G in this tournament.
Trick, what are your thoughts on what we've seen so far?
Very interesting adjustment from Team Liquid, but I think something that we needed to see from them. Hanzo and Sergeant Hammer have been instrumental for Gen G this entire last couple of weeks. So I love the big change up, but you already mentioned the rain that can come out later on. We don't have the draft screen up here, but we are watching the draft on the side here. And Urella and Phoenix comes out for the 1-2 for Gen G, and then Li Ming and a Nubarak for Team Liquid.
Look how long they wait for that ban. And they go full Gul'dan here. So this is a very similar draft to what Liquid actually used when they dropped those Vikings. Again, as Dreadnought pointed out, there's no last pick slot for them, but they have run stuff like this in the past. So they were at least thinking about it, Gen G that is, but they dropped the Gul'dan here. And now, of course, the question is, how does Liquid, at least when it comes to their own picks, adjust? Because this is a map where we have seen a lot of variation. And you pointed also out Abathur earlier. We have seen Simura on this map on the European scene. We have seen Valera. Arcana played there too. There are a few adjustments that could come out depending what Gen G picks next year.
The biggest thing to be looking at for Gen G, though, is that Phoenix is completely out of place compared to what we have seen from them in the past. That shows that they're way more concerned about the macro game and wave clear game into the Toronto and Nubarak. So I expect a double macro focus here. But Urel in the offlane, not too good in the avenue. So who's going to be able to back that up? And look at this. We see ourselves moving into the Tyrael and the Kharazim. A lot of siege capabilities, a lot of skirmishing capabilities. But who is that consistent DPS that is going to provide the problem that the Tyrael is going to enable here for Gen G? That is the question.
That's always been Hammer. For this tournament at least, it's been Hammer, and that's still banned, so there is something to that. What are you feeling for Team Liquid, Trick?
I would love to have a little bit more follow-up for this Nubarak Cocoon. You need to be quick when you're wanting to run this type of composition.
Okay.
I could see a Raymond coming in. It was just going to be a Rainer, but there's a Dahaka in that top lane that we're looking for on Towers of Doom. I'm more looking at Gen G.
Jaina.
You think it's Jaina here?
I would love to see a Jaina. Alarak!
Finally!
That is the name of it there. We're going to see that pick up there and into... Okay, so the Rainer pickup now is really, really good. Any consistent DPS, pretty much non-caster that you can have into an Alarak is a great choice. And the bigger the range, the better, as long as you can stay out of the telekinesis there. But I thought it was going to be the Jaina to enable the Phoenix a little bit better, pair with the Smite to be able to get the double kind of movement speed debuff onto your opponent. I like the draft here from Gen G, but let's be real. And Alarak, the only player in the world that I feel like you can look at and be like, you might be able to get away with this, is Rich. And it makes me go, was this too bold of a movement here from them?
Every single time I hear that, I see Snitch fuming in the background somewhere, and he's just like talking to Webby, and it's like, dude, we have to draft it. I need to show them.
He's sitting in the back plotting, scheming.
It's like that's role playing as Alarak, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's just scheming, isn't that your style?
But let's talk a little bit about the draft for Liquid here as well.
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of engaging kill potential that I really like. We also have the Dehaka again that we pointed out earlier. They love to run on Towers of Doom too, so they have Eternal on that hero now. And they play a very aggressive draft right now, and I kind of like that.
The Alarak has gotten them a win on the same map versus Miracle. How much is on the shoulders of Rich with that kind of engage heavy draft?
I mean, I think a majority of it is on the shoulders of him, but I think he's very capable and understanding of that and willing to pull that off. I'm looking over to Team Liquid, and I see this Nubarak come out. In Europe, traditionally, our Nubaraks haven't been as efficient as we would normally like, so I am worried in that regard, especially against an Alarak. If you have a bad burrow charge and Alarak comes in for that punish, Rich is looking for, that's a dead bug.
Yeah, Alarak definitely makes the bug go to like a lady beat bug very quickly. It looks like something that's a bit more vulnerable out of the two. But I think the biggest thing that I would highlight out of this is with the Alarak pickup, Gen G needs to be very fluid with laning and then catching off small skirmishes. Tyrael, Kharazim, Alarak, amazing at winning those small skirmishes and then having the wave clear in the off lanes is just, they're more placeholders for that experience. So as long as they skirmish, I don't know if we were going to be worried about the team fight because by the time the team fights happen, I expect a 2-level lead in favor of Gen G.
Well, the winner of this game is one game away from the grand finals of the HGC finals. So let's get going.
Connor, we get an Alarak and a Kharazim from Gen G. They are looking to go full offensive.
But we also have a lot of aggression coming from Liquid. And again, we came in worried a bit about them as the underdog in the series. The reason why I like it is that it shows confidence to me. They want to fight and they want to bring their battle. They're not just simply sitting back after the last game, which was a bit of a beatdown, if we're honest. They're saying, okay, we can still go toe-to-toe with them here. It's going to be tough, but they're going to try at least.
I also like the backup plan of bringing the Dahaka in, but let's go straight into Dragonshire. Here on the left side in the blue, it will be Gen G. Sake playing Kharazim, Reset on Phoenix, Rich on Alarak, Kyochi on Urel, Tist on Tyrael. Go ahead and give it up for the Korean team.
After a loss on Towers of Doom to the right, we have Billy this time on a Nubarak. Team Liquid starting with Eternal on his Dehaka, the global play from him, whereas Arcana plays Li Ming, Nurok on Toronto, and Hazorps, he's playing Jim Reyna. It is, ladies and gentlemen, Team Liquid! You pointed out earlier the engagement we can see from Nubarak and how that can be punished. That's definitely something that worries me too, because when we see Nubarak in Europe, oftentimes it is paired with the URL. You want to have that armor bonus, or you might have that blaze right next to you. In this case, it's something Billy cannot rely upon. So he needs to be extremely careful here. And already we're having Hazobs also under pressure as Gen G is going for early game aggression in the mid lane.
And it pays off well. Look at Team Liquid. They are bruised and battered. Some even Hearthstoning here, which gives Gen G that immediate jump on that bottom lane, which means get that wave clear moving forward. And suddenly Team Liquid is fighting from behind it now, which means now Mercenary camp timings are slowed down. Gen G opening up with a massive team fight and working out well for him.
There's a lot of aggression coming from Gen G for sure. Liquid is now trading in with the trap that they're saying, okay, we are trying to bring the fight as well. We're not afraid of it. We need to show some confidence here. We can't just sit back and let them play their game. And they're going to be looking for those kills later on. They have the Celestial attunement right now. And for me, it's really just a question. Can they get those CCs? Can ZAKRIA make the move, get a drag in, set especially Arcana up with Li Ming? Once the Hunter's Mark is on the ground, you work the damage in and you get those resets for Li Ming. There are good chances for Team Liquid to do work in a fight. But then you look over to Gen G, you see that Alarak, you see that Karazim there, and that aggression they can bring if they want.
For Team Liquid, it has to come down to flanks, right? ZAKRIA has to come in with the rotation on the Brush Stalker, find that target, have a Nubarak come in with a quick follow-up. Gen G on the other side, I'm actually looking at Karazim and wondering, do you consider Divine Palm here with that blow-up coming in from Team Liquid? You try to save a target. Is that why we have the Karazim coming out?
I would say it's definitely something that you think about. At this point, oh, nice attack again, Tist. Not quite enough to drop Tyrael here. But coming back to your point, I really feel like you wait how the game goes. If Liquid executes extremely well with their attempt to take someone down, you might be forced into a palm. But especially around the plays that you can make with Urel and with Alarak trying to just get somebody out of position, a 7-sided would also be a great addition to their setup.
This Mercenary camp, the top lane for Gen G is doing work here. Already breaking through this turret, looking for the gate next. That Spell Armor aura on the back. That Wizard has not been cleaned up. Hostile having a really hard time getting up there and putting damage in with 3 people on the top lane. Gen G is going to be very happy with that exchange.
That was a fantastic push by them. But Billy, I love this. I mean, this little thing here right now, Gen G taking the long path to the side, absolutely understanding that there is a possibility of someone waiting in that bush and trying to get a kill. That was fantastic for them. Extremely safe play here, giving the respect to Team Liquid here too. If they would have moved straight back down, and Nubarak would have definitely tried for the engage, and then Liquid could have collapsed onto those.
This early game has been great for them. They're pulling Team Liquid around the map right now. Team Liquid went all the way top to respawn, another one to the bottom here to respawn at the same time, and Gen G just works in these small advantages, takes a giant camp first, already having that push in the bottom lane, while Team Liquid is just trying to mirror them.
Exactly, and this is what we talked about. Liquid has a draft that says, hey, we don't want to be reactionary. We want to be the ones who initiate these aggressive moves onto a target. You get the burrow charge in, you're moving in with a Hunter's Mark and the Tyrannus stun right afterwards, and then Li Ming comes in with a combo. But so far, as you said, they're just following the steps of Gen G, who with those plays at the top lane did great. But here comes the drag as the stun, as Gen G is trying to go for the first Dragonite. It's likely that they're going to get it.
Yeah, Nubarak had to use that Lunar Flare to make sure he kept his teammate alive, and Gen G will punish that. They turn around and grab that first dragon, and middle lane will be the first one to be pushed in. And don't forget about that top lane. Remember, that fort is exposed, and Gen G is looking to capitalize.
Hazob's already a bit on the run here. Eternal moving up to help him out. Gets the drag in, a bit of extra damage onto Tis, but of course not really threatening Tyrael just yet.
Eternal floating around here, has that drag available. Meanwhile, that dragon pushing the middle lane. Li Ming is going to clear that up slowly. But Gen G hoping to open up this map. But the best part about this dragon coming out early for them too is they can build for that level 10. They don't have to worry about the aggressive plays coming from Team Liquid because no shrines are available.
Kyoja at the top though is in trouble, but again survives as the ZAKRIA just can't come in to make the move. Billy on the other hand moves in. Oh, and the kill against Reyna happening at the same time, but here comes that stun, and down he goes. Tyrael eliminated. Kyoja moving away, jumping onto Billy. Didn't see that one coming, but the Divine Steed keeps him alive.
Divine Steed quickly gets away. At the same time, Gen G also took the fort in the middle lane too, so they jump up and experience 8.25 to the 7.5 of Team Liquid. So Team Liquid, even though they get a bite back, they are still hurting, and they are behind as we head to level 10.
Oh, they definitely are. That was an easy DK for Gen G, and they got a lot of value out of it. The extra pressure towards the top lane is also going to make it incredibly difficult for the ZAKRIA to hold the access to the shrine, especially with him losing the fountain at the top side.
Team Liquid trying to lopside the map a little bit, though. Coming straight down for the Night Camp. Want to get that pushing in that bottom lane, grab that turret, get some experience there. Got to try and stay neck and neck against Gen G as they slowly start to fall behind. But if they get the Spell Aura camp, at least then they can try and set up a kill on Alrock, who's been by himself to this bottom lane the entire game.
This is definitely now a position where Team Liquid can see if they can scratch that wall a little bit, take one of the towers down, and get some experience for themselves to bring it back. But of course, the Haka now playing extremely safe. That's very limited vision for Liquid, and here comes an attack by Alarak, trying to